We have to do what we have to do. So much emotions. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and there was a massive event here at the University of Alabama. It was a loaded day, and I definitely was exhausted. But I am excited to be here and to have this session with you and to kind of, summarize everything that we've been looking at as far as the series is concerned. So recall that last week we started a series. The what is the series we started? I mean, in since the beginning of March, we started a series which is the Stigma series. We started the Stigma series. Now we're continuing that conversation today. And to wrap up that conversation, I am going to be capturing everything that we have talked about. I have my notes today, so I'm going to be looking at some of the key things that we have learned in the past few weeks. Okay. So we started the series in the first Sunday in the month of March. Was it? Yeah, was it March or February? Yeah, it was March. It was March. Recall that when we started, the very first thing we looked at was to kind of define the different types of abuse. We defined what abuse is not, and then went on to talk about the different types of abuse there is. And we moved on to then talk about, you know, um, after we talked about the different types of abuse there is, we moved on to talk about other things like the internet, the Valentine's Day, where I talked about love, I talked about trauma bond, and I also talked about love bombing. And I moved from there to then talk about something else, which was the new thing we then started to talk about was stigma. And in the stigma series, we looked at the different things that capture or make up stigma or social stigmatization. We also went ahead to let me see the other things that we talked about. So now today we're looking at another. As we summarize everything that we've talked about, we're going to be capturing another topic today, which is what is stigma? What are the different types of stigmas? What is stigmatization? What are the different ways through which people stigmatize? What coping strategies should victims of social stigma employ? And finally, I would also be inviting you all as I wrap up to this conversation to when I get to that point, I'll let you know what the invitation is definitely going to be about. So today, what I'm starting with is what's a stigma? Recall that we have defined stigma already, but I'm just going back so that we kind of trace where we're coming from and how we got here. So this session will be very quick, 15 minutes maximum, and we're out. When we define stigma as any behavior. Let me look at my notes quickly. Stigma is any mark of disgrace. Google says that stigma is any mark of disgrace that is associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. Stigma is any mark of disgrace that is associated with a particular circumstance, a particular quality, a particular person. That's a stigma, okay? What then is stigmatization? Stigmatization is that attitude, that behavior, whether it is verbal, non-verbal, digital, face to face, whatever behavior that you project towards another person that is in that particular circumstance or that has that particular quality or that particular trait that makes them a victim of stigmatization. So someone who is short, who is too dark skinned for your liking, someone who doesn't talk like you, or who doesn't act the way you act, someone who, you know, just generally, you need to understand that stigmatization and stigma are not the same. Stigmatization is the behavior that people who do not experience or who are not experiencing that stigma, um, that behavior that they project towards that person who is experiencing stigmatization, right? The next thing I want to talk about is the different types of stigmas and stigmatization. The different types of stigmas can be stigma of the body, which is physical in the sense of it can be your handedness. Your handedness can be the reason why you're stigmatized. If you're a lefty like me, many left-handed people across the world, even in Africa, right, they are still victims of stigmatization, which is very, very wrong. It is something that we should keep talking about. It's a conversation we need to keep having, right? So that's stigmatization on one hand. What that's so now left-handedness is a type of physical stigma. Bald-headedness is a type of physical stigma, but that is as a result of genetics, right? Handedness can be as a result of genetics. Some physical stigmas can be as a result of can be a result of environmental factor. Someone whose hand got burnt and then has this scar wasn't born with it, but it was an environmental, you know, it was a stigma as a result of environmental condition, right? Someone who Now let's talk about another type of stigma, social stigmas. Social stigmas are stigmas as a result of parenting, life choices, upbringing, or whatever circumstance or situation you find yourself. So, what are the examples of social stigma? Examples of social stigma are one. One of the examples of social stigma is that someone is a child that an individual is an orphan is a social stigma, right? It's a social situation that probably led to the death of the parent, and then that child has to now live forever with the idea that, oh, I am now a child to a single parent, or I am now an orphan, right? Or I don't have parents. Social stigma can also come from, I'm also thinking, social stigma can also come from other things like job. Okay, so you don't have a job, and then people begin to give you names like he's jobless, she's jobless. It's not you're doing that you're jobless, it's just the way life is. Society situations can make you jobless, and so those are social versus social and economic, factors that can result to you not having a job, which then exposes you to stigma. Okay, now, another thing that I also want to touch base or kind of talk about quickly is what coping strategies should victims of social stigma use? Recall 2 weeks when I started talking about the ways victims of social stigma can cope. One of the things I shared is you need to journal your experiences, write about your pain, make a note so that you know what you're going through, why you're going through what you're going through, so that you can logically separate the stigmas that you have control over from the stigmas that you have no control over. If you have stigmas as a result of your, I'm thinking, if you have stigmas as a result of, as a result of, you know, environments, birth, many of these types of stigmas, you have no control over them. But if it is a stigma as a result of habits such as drinking, smoking, or one form of addiction or the other, and now you're now ashamed of that stigma, one thing you need to know is you can change the stigmas that come as a result of the choices you have made or your habits. So, for instance, you're in an abusive relationship, you have the power of choice to get the heaven out. I know it's not that easy, but hey, you can make that happen. You can make that decision, that choice to either stay or go. If your choices are affecting your eating, and you're adding up the way you shouldn't be adding, oh my god, you need to look at it though. Think about it. You need to think about your physical health. Okay, and if you see that you need to lose weight, you need to do the hard work, like skipping, like running, like jogging, like hard exercise. You need to do what you need to do to stay healthy, to stay fit. Another thing I want to touch base or talk about quickly is the coping. In addition to everything that I've said, know the difference between know what kind of stigma you have. Is it the one that you can change or the one that can never go away? The one that can never go away, there is nothing you can do about it, but the ones that can go away, there's so much more you can do about it. Moving on, think about this. You also need to understand that it is very crucial, it is very, very, very crucial that you also develop coping strategies. What are coping strategies? Coping strategies are your own ways of staying sane in the face of stigma or stigmatization. Despite that, your stigma might not go away. What personal coping mechanisms can you devise so that you can make a mess, you can create beauty out of mess? Coping mechanisms can be, okay, so maybe you're going through mental stress and you know that talking to people about what you're going through might be something that will make them shame you. You can actually make beauty out of that mess by documenting your dark moments, documenting in form of videos, in form of, you know, journal entries, and read these things to yourself. Over time you begin to see different perspectives to whatever it is you're going through. Now, there is a difference between what I'm recommending that you do and suicidal notes. Suicidal notes are different. These are just the thoughts of someone who wants to commit suicide. But someone who is going through trauma as a result of stigma, the stigmas that they carry, or the stigmatization that comes from people as a result of the stigmas that they carry, these people can use this method, which is to journal, write about your pain, write it somewhere. How am I feeling? Why is this happening to me? What choices did I make in the past that has brought me here? How can I move from here to there? Those are the things you want to put in your journal. Okay, you want to write in your journal so that you can get over the pain, right? Get over the pain, get over the pain and move on. Get over the pain and move on. Get over the pain and move on. You see me, I'm yawning, I'm tired. I know it's not easy to get over that pain overnight, but you can do it. You can do it. You can carefully get over that pain. Another thing that I also want you to do is you also need to you need to enjoy nature. I mean, take pleasure in the little things. If you develop more gratitude in the midst of that chaos, in the midst of that pain, you are more likely going to make magic out of a terrible situation. Let me say that one more time. If you learn how to enjoy, you know, um, if you learn how to be happy, irrespective of the chaos in your life or in your space, and you develop gratitude by thanking God for the little things, you're more likely going to be happy or happier than people who are attached to outcomes. Some people feel that they need to be validated. People need to accept them. People need to love them before they can give love to themselves. You need to get to that point where you love yourself irrespective of what you look like. See, people generally cannot resist happy people. So if you're happy, irrespective of your stigma or stigmas, and you live a life of gratitude, see, big things are definitely going to happen to you. You're going to experience more joy. You're going to experience more abundance. You're going to have so much more. And I just want you to know that some situations in life you cannot change it, but what you can change is how you react or how you respond in those difficult moments. Will you rather take your own life? Will you rather commit suicide? Will you rather allow depression to eat you? Or would you rather make magic out of a mess? Would you make beauty out of ashes? Will you make garments of praise out of a sack, out of the clothing of mourning? Will you make something good out of whatever terrible thing you are going through? It's your call to make. And I must tell you that if you begin to tell yourself how to feel, how to react in every situation, in every circumstance, you are more likely going to overcome those difficult times. So I'm going to share this very interesting perspective before I leave here today. So yesterday at the African Ball, I was really excited because, one, I'm a fun lover. I love to have like mad fun. Now, so I had one primary role. My primary role was to be the Yawo, which is the wife in a Yoruba presentation. So what was the performance? It was Ekun Yawo and I was the bride. Now, this is what is funny. How can you expect someone who is going through a divorce to come and perform such a sensitive role at such a sensitive time in my life? Now that was funny. I was taken aback. I was like, should I do this? Should I not? And I was like, okay. A part of me didn't want to do it, but I was like, okay, I will be disappointing those who were coordinating this thing if I don't get involved. And I got involved, and guess what? It was an amazing performance. And now you see, one thing that I think I succeeded in doing with that performance was to also tell people that nothing should steal your joy. Nothing should steal like make your life a movie, a cinema. Like let your life be a movie. Let it be a look and stare. So that even though you might be going through challenges, even though you might be going through a divorce right now, your life should not come to a standstill. Your happiness is not associated with the circumstances in your life. Enjoy every moment. I mean, what the hell? Like, enjoy every moment because tomorrow you cannot control. But today you have every power over. Choose today over tomorrow. Live yesterday. Today is here. Enjoy it. And so sometimes, yes, we want to have proper lives. We want our lives to be perfect, prim, proper, no mess, no stigma, no scar, no shame. But that's not what makes life beautiful. Do you know what makes life beautiful? Just imagine, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is just a clean book. Nothing. This is not how life is. Life is not a plain piece of paper. Okay? Do you know what makes life beautiful? I'll show you. These are the things that make life beautiful. The shapes, okay? The colors, the writings, okay? The terrible things that happen, the mistakes, the rough sketches, the not so good things, okay? These are the things that make life beautiful. So if these things are missing, for crying out loud, you're not living. If you're looking to have a perfect life, then you are first a victim of your own stigmatization before you're a victim of other people's stigmatization. And the second interesting thing that happened yesterday was, during the party section of the when we're done with all the special presentations, folks then decided to do party. Now, party in the sense that people were happy, they just wanted to how do I put this? Have fun. And I was there having fun, dancing. Like I danced more, in fact, I think I danced more than most people at that event. And I would wonder, I would not be surprised if some people were like, Kilon do no egana, because that's the nature of humans. And the idea is to make those who make your let me not put it that way, make people wonder at why you're so happy. Because why shouldn't you be happy? Why should you not be happy? What you can control is your joy, how you feel in every situation. What you can control is what people are thinking. The things that will go wrong in your life, you can control that. Do you know? You can control what you do when things are not going well. You can control how you respond when life is not giving you what you want at the time you want it. But you know what would make you triumph over that difficult time is the joy that you put out there, because people cannot resist happy people. And that's the truth. You need to understand that people cannot resist happy people. Okay? People cannot resist you when you're happy. Abon fe teni. I don't know if you understand. People cannot what? Resist happy people. If you're happy, people will not be able to resist you. That's what I'm trying to pass across to you. So today we've done a recap of everything that we've talked about in the past weeks, and I'm really excited that we could pull this through. My name is Bisola Miriam, and I'm the founder at the Left Handers Africa organization. And today I just shared with you, I did a recap of everything that we have talked about in the stigma and stigmatization series in the past month. And I am glad that I was able to do this. I'm really happy and excited about what the future holds for us. And I really look forward to you supporting and collaborating and working with us at the lefthandersafrica.org. I am super excited about you always join us in this live series, and I look forward to having you join us even during subsequent episodes. Now, if you found this really useful, please be a good Samaritan. Look out for somebody by sharing this content. Even more, don't just share. Make sure that you leave comments. You invite people to join our Facebook group, the Left Handers Africa, the Left Handers African Network Against Stigma and Abuse. And I want you to not just join our communities, invite people. Follow us on Instagram at the Left Handers Club NG. Okay. Follow us on Instagram at the Left Handers Club NG. We're definitely going to be changing our Instagram handle soon to the Left Handers Africa. Okay, the Left Handers Africa will be changing our handle soon. But for now, we're still the Left Handers Club NG. God bless you. Abundance is here. But before I go, I'm going to read from my book. Okay, so I said here that a victim is a person who suffers direct or threatened physical, emotional, or financial harm as a result of an act by someone else. Almost every home experiences domestic violence. This type of violence can be emotional, verbal, physical, and or sexual abuse by an intimate partner, family members, or parties in a dating relationship. So if you're being emotionally or financially abused, you are a victim. And if you don't know it, or your victimizer innocently or ignorantly treats you this way, it's unconscious victimization. The stigma in motherhood and early marriage. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and today I just wanted to share this: the stigma in motherhood and early marriage in commemoration of Mother's Day. 3 in 4 women say they've experienced pregnancy and maternity discrimination. I became a mother in my final year in the university, and a number of my professors said my grades will sink. They said because I'm a mom, I won't cope with schoolwork and parenting. That statement got me, and I couldn't move freely on campus, wondering what the next person was going to say about me. I remember the words of one of my advisors: Bisola, you're a smart student, but now that you're a mother, I don't think you're still that smart to graduate summa cum laude. An average grade isn't bad after all. That was a myth, and I did burst it as I came out as the best student in my set. Moving on, I lost some job opportunities because of my status as a mom. Some of the conditions of employment were really difficult to meet. Childbearing does not impede a woman's capacity to perform. Never reduce a woman's value because she's a mom. Also, never shut someone up because he or she is the youngest in the room. A note to victims. No psychological change as a result of birth reduces your capacity to excel at any task. You should never be defined by the opinion of a few. You have only one way to prove them wrong: win or win. A note to community. We need to encourage working parents. We should not compromise work standards, but neither should we exploit or manipulate or threaten them with the positions they hold in our organizations. If they are given tasks, trust them to complete it, and don't out of pity think that they no longer can perform on their jobs. Their brains never went on break because they now have a family. Rather, they have become smarter and great at multitasking. That's me. Pay them well too. They need all the money. Do not manipulate them if you think that they will stay at the job anyway, no matter what you do to them, because they now have kids. A father or mother who does your work diligently should be appreciated. Sometimes family emergencies may come up. Show some empathy. Do not throw a staff role because of a day's absence. Thank you. An idea: provide a kids club service that will put the minds of parents at rest when at work. Working parents need functional support groups. They need functional child minding services, not some group of predators or physical abusers or abusive minders dividing children males into equal halves while they take the lion's share. Support your employees by giving them time off without you calling for official duties while away. If your company can afford it, let them stay with their kids on International Children's Day or a day off on June 1, International Parents' Day. Let them be humans and not robots. Start an holiday reading club for kids during summer or other terms. My pledge: I will do my best to recommend a good child maintenance service provider to a parent. It won't hurt if I mind a friend's child while she attends to important duties that can't wait. What's yours? What is your pledge today? I am as good as before a baby, and I can be as better as after a child or two. Just look at me. Kaya, this is divine. This book is powerful. I just read from my book, The Unseen Scars of Stigma, and I hope that you find a way to get a copy or donate money so that we can keep printing several copies and make them available to victims of social stigma. My name is Bisola Miriam, and I love you. I love you so much. Abundance is here, there is no lack. God bless you, and I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.